Good morning, Ohio State. My name is Ronald Holmes, and welcome back to a special edition of BuckeyeTV. Today we're joined with two very special guests, Reese and Reagan Brooks, who are running for president and vice president of USG for the next election cycle of USG. So go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Yep, so my name is Reese Brooks. I'm running as the presidential ticket for Brooks Bros for USG. A little information about myself. I'm a third-year student at the Fisher School of Business, specializing in marketing. I've been very involved in student life on campus through starting my own student organization on campus, hosting weekly meetings, doing activism events, and just really involved in the Fisher School of Business and student organizations on campus.
Cool. Yeah, I'm Reagan Brooks. I'm the vice president for the Brooks Brothers campaign. I'm also a third year at the Fisher School of Business, specializing in marketing. We're kind of alike a little bit. I'm also very involved on campus. I'm the president of two student organizations on campus. I've just been really involved on campus life since I transferred here in the fall of 2016. So yeah, whenever I'm not in school, I'm usually on campus at various events and stuff like that.
Cool. So what inspired you guys to run for USG?
Yeah, so we believe that we can best represent students on campus, and that's through our involvement in student organizations on campus. Now, currently there's about 1,300 student organizations on campus, and we feel like really reaching out to those student organizations gives USG better representation, and we have various policy points on how we want to make student organizations more involved in the USG process. So we believe just involving more student organizations on campus gives better representation towards USG, and as sort of people that haven't been involved in USG before, we see a lot of the problems that have been occurring within USG. So we believe that we can best solve that because we are not establishment candidates. We aren't people that have been involved in USG for many years. So we just believe that we can just best represent students on campus by coming out with an outside perspective and actually making real change on campus.
So what are the current issues that you guys are going to focus on the most if you guys were to get elected? Go ahead and just explain a couple of your policy points, if you will, and what those issues that you're looking to fix.
Yeah. So two policy points relating directly to student organizations on campus. We would like to institute weekly forums with student organization leaders on campus, where we can have the club officers come meet with USG and they can give their direct input on resolutions that have already passed through USG or resolutions that they would like to be implemented. So rather than just USG, just a few dozen senators just passing a resolution, now we have student organizations with hundreds, if not thousands of members. So they can give direct input on that, and they can further pressure the university to actually implement the resolutions that USG passes, since only a fraction of those resolutions that pass actually get implemented by the university. Another one is changing up the funding process for student organizations. As someone who's hosted various events on campus, I know all of the situations that can occur just by funding an event on campus, since it's all through a reimbursement system. So and you only get reimbursed from an event 30 days after the event occurs. So unless you're tied to a larger organization, we've occurred various funding issues, and that's resulted in many of our members having to front hundreds of dollars just to pay for speakers or plane flights to go to events. So we want to switch it away from a reimbursement system to a system where students actually get money up front. And many other Big Ten schools do that. So we would like that instituted at OSU, because we believe that we can host bigger and better events if students didn't have to deal with all the funding issues in fronting the money up front.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So current and potential members of USG, so if you guys were to be the head of USG, how would you guys portray to them that USG is a transparent organization? I know there's been issues the past couple of years with transparency and whatnot with previous administrations. So what are your guys' plans on ensuring students can see the inner workings of USG without feeling that they're being the curtains being pulled over their eyes or whatever?
Yep. Cool. Yeah, you made a great point about we've had a major transparency issue over the past 2 or 3 years. I was very disappointed with with the growing issue among USG dealing with the secret ballot. What exactly the secret ballot entails is essentially you can vote on a USG resolution in which if you use it through a secret ballot, basically the set whether or not you signed on to it, it doesn't get voted. It doesn't get published to the public. So we've seen a variety of different examples of how USG has been doing that in order to hide, like pretty much for them to save themselves, voting on very controversial resolutions that a large majority of students would disagree with. But they've been using a secret ballot, so then it doesn't get published. So that's a major transparency issue, and I think that really separates us from the other campaign, because we've seen with the previous administration how many problems they've been dealing with transparency. I felt like having the outsider perspective and saying that, hey, we have no vested interest in this in USG previously. We're coming in this with new eyes. We're here to represent actual students on campus as well as student organizations, and that's really the voice that we want to bring. We're not about plain politics. We're here to represent students, and students have said time and time again they want transparency in USG, and I think we can best do that.
Yeah, and sort of just to expand on that, when the people that actually vote on the resolutions are senators that students elect. So if you are voting for a candidate and they get elected into USG, we think it's a right for students to know how their elected official voted on an issue. So we believe just changing up that system, removing the secret ballot issue, would really help with the transparency issues that USG is really dealing with right now.
Mm-hmm. So one of the issues I find students talk about most is just feeling safe on campus. Mm-hmm. So, in light of recent events with gun violence, just violence in general, how do you two plan on ensuring students continue to feel safe on campus in light of these recent events?
Yeah, so with that, we have three main policy points tied to that. The first one being we want to remove a lot of the issues in the student conduct code, which we believe that are preventing students from adequately defending themselves on campus. So we would like to remove the pepper spray ban on campus, because we just believe that's a huge safety issue amongst people, that they do have the right to defend themselves, and we believe that we can solve that by removing the ban on pepper spray. Moreover, I've been involved in mixed martial arts for the past 4 years, so we want to increase the opportunities that students have to take self-defense courses. And I just believe that's very, very important for a student's confidence if they are ever to get involved in a physical situation. I've had my 4 sisters get heavily involved in mixed martial arts, so just really creating more opportunities where students can actually take self-defense courses. And then lastly, we want to work with the city to really fix some of the lighting issues on campus. I've had a couple friends that have actually been robbed on campus, and then some of that just deals with going through an alleyway where it's completely pitch black, where someone can just go up and rob you. So we want to work with the city of Columbus and just fix a lot of those issues, because that's definitely a huge problem, especially for off-campus students.
Mm-hmm. Lighting is also another big issue that I hear students talking about a lot. Mm-hmm. Ohio State is kind of a dark campus if you're in the wrong parts. Mm-hmm. So lastly, just what do you have to say to your fellow students? Why should they vote for you, and why should they put their confidence in you?
Yeah, so with that, we believe that we can best represent the interests of students on campus. And we believe that we can represent them through not being directly involved in USG. We believe that by reaching out to student organizations on campus, the 1,300 student organizations, that those student organizations best represent students' voice on campus. So we want to work extensively with the student organizations to get their input on resolutions and work with them to actually implement the policies that we're proposing in our campaign. So if you're pretty much fed up with some of the stuff that's going on within USG, I would definitely advise you to check out our website, Vote Brooks Bros, and since today is the last day of campaigning, I strongly urge you to vote for us. If you agree with our policies.
Yep. Yeah. Go to osu.edu or go to usg.osu.edu to vote Brooks Brothers. Yeah, sort of like C said, we're bringing that outsider perspective into USG. That's what students want. They want people that actually represent the students and aren't here to play politics, and are here to truly represent us in every single resolution that gets passed in the future.
Cool. So I want to thank you guys for coming out today and
Yep.
sitting down with us. Students, go ahead and vote. Today is the last day of voting. Voting ends at 11:59 p.m. tonight. And with that, I want to thank you for watching.
Cool.